Hey guys, welcome back to Detective D, the Silk Rose Murders. In the last episode, we started off chapter 3, and of course Detective D won't let up, although the Empress told him to cease the investigation. But I guess we are just too stubborn and too smart to do that. We tracked down someone, Mr. Gu Chuan, and now we are about to, I don't want to say inquire him, but we are going to talk to him, so let's just do that. Let's talk to Mr. Gu Chuan. Enjoying the show?
Marvelous. Simply marvelous. To think the Zhu sisters were in town, and I only found out about it yesterday. You look like someone who appreciates good music. Are you also an admirer of the twins' famous Pipa duet?
I'm gonna go with the truth. I can certainly appreciate the artistry and skill on display, but unfortunately I'm not here for the music. I am Magistrate D. Rangier from the Justice Department. Are you Gu Chuan, the block printer?
Yes, well, no. What I mean is I am Gu Chuan, but I no longer do any printing. Wait, how do you know who I am?
Your name has come up during a murder investigation.
What? How can that be? I've never hurt a soul in my life.
In that case, you won't mind me asking you a few questions.
Very well. I have nothing to hide.
Tell me about yourself.
I was
a block printer all my life, it should read.
I was a block printer all my life. It wasn't a very glamorous job, but I was good at it. It's harder than it looks, you know. Carving individual pieces of wood reliefs takes time and dedication. For years I had my own shop painting mostly on textiles. Business was steady. Some time ago I decided to take on an apprentice. I once had a master who taught me the craft. I figured I'd pass on my knowledge and get some much needed help in return. But things didn't work out as I had imagined. I've made my peace with it though. After all, retirement has brought with it its own delights.
Why did you retire?
You're asking me to dig up the past, you understand? Events I'd rather forget. Even though what happened took place over a year ago, thinking about it still stirs up a painful memory. As I said before, I started taking in an apprentice. The first few were mediocre at best. They could barely keep up. Then, a young man from the countryside showed up. He was quiet and unassuming, almost deceptively so. But underneath, his intelligence and determination matched that of all my previous students put together. In a short period of time, he had mastered most of the skills that took me years to learn. His name was Han Si-dong. His success was a great source of pride for me. I felt a kinship with him. I trusted him. But then, seemingly out of nowhere, everything changed.
Please go on.
Si-dong became distant and erratic. At times, he seemed unable to focus, as if something was eating away at him from the inside. On these days, he would simply ignore my instructions and practice engraving the same symbol over and over again. I often wondered what thoughts had him so obsessed, so haunted. But alas, I never did muster the courage to ask. One day, things reached a new low. For reasons I have yet to understand to this day, I found out that he had stolen an entire roll of silk. When I confronted him and became hostile, he called me a slave for not seeing the truth, for not supporting his mission. But in reality, I had no idea what he was talking about. That was the last straw. I had no choice but to turn him away. That was the last time I saw him. It broke my heart. My business floundered, but I had no wish to carry on any longer. I was ready to move on.
Wow, what a story about your apprentice. Tell me more about Han Si-dong.
Alright, what would you like to know?
Any theories about what may have caused this change in behavior?
I often lie awake at night thinking about that very question, but no clear answer ever emerges. Deep down, I believe something must have happened to darken his heart. Something terrible. He was a decent young man who was suffering in silence. That much I know. And to my everlasting regret, I was not able to help him overcome his inner demons.
Could someone else have caused this suffering? Perhaps someone who was close to him?
You mean a woman? I suppose that is possible. He never spoke about anyone in particular, but in the early days, I would sometimes catch a glimpse of him smiling to himself. You know, the way a young man smiles in contentment while daydreaming about someone special. But I never thought much of it. Truth be told, Zedong was generally quite clumsy around our female customers. He usually kept his head down, almost too shy to look at them in the eyes.
What do you know about his past?
Zedong was an orphan and a drifter. He spent most of his childhood moving from place to place on the other side of the Wei River. For most of his life, he was poor and maltreated. Never really loved, never completely abandoned. He was invisible. When I met him 2 springs ago, he had just arrived in the city and was looking for work. I took a chance on him. A decision I don't regret.
You said he repeatedly carved the same symbol. Do you recall what it was or what it meant?
Yes, how can I forget? Some days, his desk would be full of wood blocks engraved with it. Strangely, I never saw him printed or on anything. The symbol itself was thin and wavy. It looked like a scratch marks more than anything else. I just assumed it was some random scribble.
Does the silk stolen by Han Zedong match that of this rose petal?
It looks like it's been dyed, but otherwise its texture and weight is unmistakable. Yes, this looks like the same silk Zedong stole from me.
And you bought this silk from Gangwon in the central market, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. In fact, Gangwon is the only silk merchant who carried this unique material. I know because I looked long and hard for a silk like this to complement my experimental printing methods. Innovation, that's the secret to success.
Interesting, okay. About your alibi. I need to know where you were yesterday between midday and sundown.
Well, my wife and son have been out of town visiting family up north this past week, so I've been spending most of my afternoon seeing old friends. Yesterday, I met up with 3 of them for a friendly afternoon card game before going for a stroll in the central market. That's when I decided to stop by Mrs. Cho's for his famous fish soup. I think I had 2 bowls, or maybe 3. In any case, I stayed there for a while before heading back home at dusk.
Yeah, we already knew that it can't be him. Do you know where I can find Han Zedong?
He used to have a little shack by the river, but I don't know if he still lives there. Here, I'll mark it on your map. But before you go, there's one more thing you should know. Just before we parted, Zedong handed me a piece of paper. He said it was a matter of life and death, and that I should keep it on me at all times. He said someone would eventually come looking for him, and that when that happened, I should give it to that person. And I don't know how, but I think you knew that you were going to find me. Here, it's yours now. Maybe you can make sense of it.
Strange note added to inventory. Okay, that's a little scary actually. Thank you for your cooperation.
Magistrate D, do you really think Han Zedong is guilty? On second thought, don't answer that. I think I prefer not knowing.
Identified a prime suspect named Han Zedong. His former mentor believes he has inner demons. Ooh, I don't like that. That is the strange note. But before we do that, we are going to try to show him the note. Okay. I thought maybe he would recognize these symbols. Alright, let's have a look at the strange note then. Oh. By itself, this note makes very little sense. What do these numbers represent? And why do some numbers appear to be missing? Huh. That's a 5, a 3, 7, 9, 4. I guess we will have to head to the library to find out. Thanks, Mr. Chuan. Or Mr. Gu. Wait, Mr. Go? Gu. Mr. Gu. Sorry, I don't speak Chinese. I'm very bad at these kind of things. Okay, so do we head to Han Zedong's house? Or do we go finally to the Imperial Library? Let's go to his house first. Oh my goodness, look at this. A silk rose? There's no doubt about it. He's leaving a breadcrumb trail for me to follow. It's a silk rose like the ones found at the crime scenes. But why plant a fake rose in a real flower pot? Silk rose added to inventory. That's odd. The stem is wet. It's just like the others, except the stem is wet. The soil in the pot is wet, like it's been watered. But why go through the trouble of planting and watering a fake rose? Unless it's meant to draw my attention. Oh my goodness. Okay, can we have... Seems the items don't fit, he just said, right? Okay, alright, I thought maybe we would have something to go about here. There's a boat. This must be the boat the killer used to get away after the murder young Kiki on the Paradise Cloud. Can we enter the door though? And why is that flower pot wet? There's something buried in the salt. Okay. Wooden contraption added to inventory. What is this? It's an intricate wooden contraption. But what is it for? Okay, we have already... There's nothing else to unearth. Okay. Let's have a look at the door. It's bolted shut by a special locking mechanism. Aha. Alright, so here we go. There, I can try turning the handles now. And I think the strange notes will have us... But there might be still stuff missing. Makes very little sense. And why do some... There seem to be numbers seem to be missing. So it's 5. Let me have another look here. So it's 5, 3, 7, 9, 4, 5. We can turn the knob like this. These handles reset, but the door's still locked. That must have been the wrong combination. But looks like the right combination only requires 3 turns. Okay. Okay, so it doesn't work like that. I guess we can't figure this out yet. Sorry for the time waste, but I had to try. Okay, so we can't enter here yet. We are supposed to go to the library, I guess. Alright, let's have a look around then. Oh, I love libraries, by the way. These bookcases are marked by a number. This one bookcase number 3. That's 4. Then I guess this is 1 and 2. The inner chambers, we can also just go inside. King Kong Meng Tao, Kong Meng Pu. Oh, the music is awesome, by the way. Okay, we are going to have a look at these people first. The Kong brothers. They've been the custodians for the Imperial Library since my time as a student at the academy. Oh, so you know them. Let's talk to them. Well, isn't it our favorite academician, D-Rangy, eh? Look at his cap, you imbecile. That's a magistrate you're addressing. I know that. I was just reminiscing with our friend about the good old days. It seems you've done well for yourself since your days as a studious Imperial scholar, young magistrate. All my father used to say, luck favors... as my father used to say, luck favors the prepared. And prepare you did. I remember you spending all those long nights studying away in the lonely corners of this library. You were a true bookworm. Those are fond memories. Well then, it was nice to see you again, D-Rangy, or should I say, Your Excellency. But now, if you'll excuse us, we have some pressing business to attend to. But
See you later.
What? Come on, guys! I need your help here. Here.
Aren't you going to help us solve the riddles first?
What riddles? Actually, I was hoping you could help me find a book on the subject of lost or secret writing systems.
I'm sorry we can't help you at the moment. We're working on solving something very important.
Like you're anywhere close to finding the answer.
I bet I'm closer than you. Don't make me come over there and teach you some manners, little brother.
You don't scare me. You haven't scared me since you stopped growing at the age of 12.
Why, you little...
Enough! What in the world is going on here? Why are you two bickering like little children?
It's this stupid challenge. We've been stuck on it all morning. It's so infuriating.
A challenge?
Our colleagues from the Ministry of Public Works came by this morning to issue a challenge.
Yeah, a real pompous now and all that, Bo May.
You see, we've got a sort of friendly competition going between the ministries. Every week we take turns challenging each other to different intellectual exercises. This week it was Bo's turn to come up with a challenge, and boy did he ever.
We've been racking our brains on this one all morning.
So you see, we'd love to help you, but our reputations are on the line. Besides, our minds are just too preoccupied at the moment.
In that case, perhaps I can offer you some assistance. Will you help me if I can solve the challenge?
I suppose that will be acceptable.
Yes, why not? DRNGA spent so much time he's practically one of us.
It's settled then. Let me help you, and you will be free to help me.
Great, let's begin.
Bo May gave us 2 riddles, each one revealing a single word. He said that the title of one of the books in this room contains both words.
That's right, all we have to do is solve the 2 riddles and we'll know the name of the book. He said that the correct book has a signed bookmark inside it. Retrieve the bookmark, we win the challenge.
So what's the first riddle?
Riddle number 1 goes like this. I once stood for more, but the flames ripped through and through. Now I am but a pile. Do you wish to say, I miss you?
And the second one?
Riddle number 2 goes like this. I am in the air, I am everywhere. If you let me be, then you might just see me. If you push me away, I go, but return someday. My brother and I have managed to write down some possible answers in the scroll in front of you. We're quite certain the correct answers are in the list. Just use the scroll to point out the 2 correct words. If a book with those words in the title exists,
we'll tell you where to find it. We're counting on you, DRNGA.
Let's have a look at the scroll then. The Kong brothers have come up with some possible answers to the 2 riddles. All I need to do is underline the correct ones. Let's have a look then. Alright. Something like stood for more, but the flames ripped through and through. I'm nothing but a pile. You wish to say I'm something like miss you? I'm but a pile. I guess it's Ash then? Let's go with Ash for the one with the pile and stuff. And the second one is you can see me in the air, something like that. What was the second one? It was something like I am in the air? And like something like I am everywhere. So that could be death. That could be smoke. Could be the wind. And but the last line was something like, if you get rid of me, I will be back. And I think that's actually dust.
Of course! Ash is the answer to the first riddle and dust is the answer to the...
Oh, we got it, guys! We got it! Great! Okay. Wait, I know the book. It must be the Portraits of Ash and Dust. It's a collection of melancholy poems by various writers.
Surely that's the one. You can find it in bookcase number 3 right behind us.
Oh, great! So that's bookcase number 3. And there's the book. Let's take it. Found the bookmark. Bookmark added to inventory. So we can have a look at the bookmark. It's the bookmark needed to win the challenge. So let's hand it over to the 2 brothers.
There it is! May's bookmark. We've beaten you now, you rascal.
And all thanks to our favorite visitor, D-Ranger.
I'm glad I could help. Now, onto some pressing business of my own. I'm conducting some research on lost or secret writing systems. Do you know of any books on the subject?
Lost or secret writing systems, you say? I know of only one book that discusses that topic, but...
Oh, that book! The one you let that woman steal from right under our nose.
I let no such thing happen. She asked to borrow it for a little while, and I obliged.
You're turning red just thinking about her, aren't you? You know it's against the rules to let outsiders take anything from this library. But all it takes is a wink and a smile from a pretty girl, and you'll even forget your last name.
I'll have you know she told me where to find her. I just haven't had the chance to go down that way, that's all.
So you have a name and an address then?
Yes, I do. Her name is Jingya Li. She sells flowers down at the Central Market.
Wait, you mean to tell me you've known where to find her all this time and you did nothing? Oh brother, I have to take you out more often.
I'm detecting a fair amount of friction between the 2 of you. Has something come between you?
Oh, I worry about him. He just turned 30 and he's still single with not a prospect in sight.
That doesn't mean you have to rub it in my face every chance you get. I tire of your constant reminders. Did you know my big brother has a wife? A first, a second, and a third concubine? How about his 6 beautiful children? Have you heard all the adorable tales about them? If you haven't, all you have to do is spend 10 minutes with him and he'll tell you all about his perfect family.
My dear little brother, I never meant to offend you. I was just trying to tell you about my family so you could see how worthwhile it is to pursue one of your own. I'm sorry if I was insensitive about it. I only meant to help.
It's not your fault. This bitterness I feel should not be directed at you. I should be happy for you. I'm sorry, brother. Please forgive my inadequacies.
It seems you 2 care for each other very much. Now, perhaps if you could each control your tempers a bit better. Sorry, guys.
Just like the good old days. Didn't I tell you, Mengpu? Brother D is just as witty as I remember him.
You can say that again.
Okay. Thank you. You've both been very helpful.
Come back soon, D-Ranger.
Your company's always welcome.
So can we go... For some reason now we can't go to the back side anymore. I hope I didn't mess up here. Okay, but now we know where... although, wait a second. Can we show them? No, okay, so they won't take these. Okay, so we are going back to the Central Market. But we will have to hurry. Because we are nearing the end of the episode mark, so we will have to be quick about this. So let's talk to Jing Liai or whatever name. Pardon me, are you Jing Yali? Yes, do we know each other? My memory's not what it used to be. No, we've never met. I'm Magistrate D-Ranger. I'm with the Justice Department. Oh, please forgive my impertinence, Your Excellency. I'm not accustomed to meeting court officials. There's nothing to forgive. We may forgo the formalities for now. Were you looking to buy some flowers then? No, I'm afraid I have much more serious matters to ask you about. Ask me? I doubt I know anything of importance, and even if I did, I probably can't remember it. But feel free to ask what you want. Tell me about yourself. Have you always sold flowers for a living? I grew up in the southern province of Jiangnan. My parents sold flowers at the local market for as long as I can remember. They taught me these trade when I was still little. But as I got older, I grew tired of the countryside and moved to the city. Chang'an has been my home ever since. You mentioned you have trouble remembering. What did you mean? Well, 2 years ago I was in a carriage accident. I don't recall much of it except for walking up in a ditch. But from that point on, my memory has been unreliable. Some people who witnessed the incident later told me that the carriage had fallen over and that I was lucky only to have bumped my head. But shortly after, I realized something was terribly wrong. I couldn't remember certain things about my past, about myself. Where I grew up, my siblings' names, what I liked to eat, these memories seem faded, often out of reach. Even now, memories can be hard to retain unless I make a concerted effort. That's unfortunate, but you seem to be doing well. Some days are better than the others. Visual cues usually help jog my memory, so I often write things down. What do you mean by visual cues? Often, seeing a word or drawing can trigger my memory. Even a familiar object sometimes has the same effect. That's how I remember my hometown. I couldn't recall the name of the village I grew up in until I stumbled onto a lucky charm my mother had given me before I left. You visited the Imperial Library not long ago. Why? I visited the Imperial Library? I honestly can't remember. A man named Kong Mang Tao let you take out a book even though that is strictly forbidden. Do you remember that? He and his brother Kong Meng Pu are custodians of the library. I believe you left quite an impression on both of them, especially Meng Tao. I'm sorry, I don't remember any of that. I have no more questions for you now. Thank you. Hey, you have a great day, sir. Alright guys, I'm really sorry, but we have hit the end of the episode mark. Come on, stand in front of us. Thanks. If you want to know if we can jog her memory, you'll have to tune in next time for Detective D, The Silk Rose Murders. See you then.